This is Vigilante for ReasonForRhymes.com. There's Reason with the number 4, Rhymes.com, YourBlackWorld.net, and Tell It Like the T.I. is. On the horn from Harlem, we got Elf the Elemental. What's going on, bro?
Peace, what's going on? How you doing?
Not much, man. Boris told me some good things about you, man, and he wanted to spread your movement, man. So we want the world to know exactly what you about, bro. So let's start.
All right, yeah, my name is F the Elemental, and I'm about consciousness. I'm a conscious hip-hop artist. I talk about a lot of different topics that you're not going to find in the typical hip-hop music. So I put out an album called Platinum Shackles, talking about, selling of slavery, and I would say music and actions of the lesser mind.
Mm-hmm. So, go ahead.
Now, it's kind of like a collection of music about questioning, I would say, things that kind of bring us to not our higher self, but our lower self. And the entrapment, prison industrial complex, stuff that brings us to that point.
Yes. Okay, so you're taking on basically the baton that Public Enemy is reached out and tried to say one of other artists to do. You're one of the few people that are still embracing that mindset of being conscious when it comes to music, even though this industry is dominated by trap music and stuff. What makes you still stick with that format?
Well, first of all, I grew up on Public Enemy, and that's one of the first and foremost things. Public Enemy, KRS One, Rakim. That's my era of music, and that's what molded me as a person. So that's the music I tend to listen to, and then I see the end result of the current music. So our young people are going down a path, a dark slope, and I have the gift. I believe that I have the gift of lyricism. And I want to use that in a way that's going to wake people up and make them think. I mean, at the end of the day, are we thinking? And the current music, it doesn't encourage thinking. It just encourages carnal, kind of low level existence. And I want to kind of wake us up. Okay.
Also, tell me a little bit about yourself, as in, we know you rap, but what else you do? Because I heard you was an activist too. Let the people know some of the community things you do out there.
Okay, I'm a Boy Scout leader. I'm a Scoutmaster, former Boy Scout. I am an advocate for, I fight against gentrification. So I'm in Harlem. As if people who don't know Harlem, New York City, the rents are really high, and a lot of the people who were living in Harlem and not just Harlem, but New York City are being pushed out with these high rents. So I fight against stuff like that. I fight against these corporations or people coming in, buying up the apartments and then raising the rents, doubling, tripling the rents. I also fight for veteran affairs, and we're getting ready to step up some real serious campaigns for people running for office. Nobody's talking about what's happening to these veterans. They're coming back from these wars, situations they really shouldn't be in, but they're coming back with mental issues. They're coming back, they homeless. They can't get medical treatment, and it's like the government forgets about them. So I'm fighting all of these things, the prison industrial complex, our young people getting arrested unjustly. They got these unfair drug policies. This is stuff that I've studied, I've witnessed, I've seen, and I stand against these things. So I fight against these things. I also mentor young people. Just the different things that I feel that is needed in our community to help our community. I volunteer. We do Occupy the Corner when people get shot. I work with Reverend Al Sharpton, different people. When people, violence happens, we set up a DJ set up on a corner, play music, to kind of deter crime. I mean, all that stuff. And these are all volunteer situations. There's no money involved, but these are things that I think is needed in our community.
Okay, kind of describe and let the audience know the reason why you chose the name that you use as your rap name.
F the Elemental. I feel that I use that name, and it is funny how I came across that name. Back in the day when I first started, I used to call myself Amazing Fahim when I first started out. But I was like, we as a people, you go back to the periodic table and the elements, you could break things down to their basic elements. So I was like, well, same as human beings, we have a breakdown. We could be broken down into basic elemental compounds. So I was like, well, if you go by that concept, we're a combination of other things that kind of form this with, you know, combined with the spirit and the soul. And so I'm like, okay, so I'm going to call myself this because you can't, even at my basic state, I'm still the same entity. So I want to call myself this because I'm being true to my nature and true to who I am.
Got you. Now, with that being said, and the things you do in the community, how do you keep pushing on when it's obviously media and everything else don't even want to highlight? This should be highlighted, but yet people who's in the trap talking about guns and black on black crime, they seem to dominate the industry, dominate the media. How do you continue pushing on with the pen, even though the world is not accepted of the style that you're doing?
It's a struggle. I'm gonna tell you that because the one thing that I notice is, you know, I don't get the support. I mean, you know, coming out in the street and performing, people love to hear you perform, but they don't really buy your products.
Exactly.
And I noticed that they don't buy it. You know, like one guy made a comment, and he's a good friend of mine, and he's good with his music, but he said, "Oh, he said, listening to what you spitting, you trying to go wood." That's what he said. And I mean, and that's the reality. You know, you do it for the love. You're not really doing it for the money because nobody's really buying your stuff. And somebody broke something down to me about this music. You know, they said that there's something called proof of concept. And it was like, you know, the negativity sells because we buy it.
Yeah.
That's the bottom line. We buy negativity. That's why negativity sells. So I could stand on a soapbox forever and talk consciousness and all that, but at the end of the day, who's going to buy it?
And I also have a concept to add to what you're saying. Not only do we buy it, but the so-called righteous people don't support the the righteous rappers. Like as they say, you hear people say all the time, I'm tired of hearing this garbage rap. I want to go back to the day. Then there's artists like you and other artists like Rima Karama and, Doc Swag, all these other people that do conscious stuff, but yet the conscious don't even support the conscious. So my thing is, so negativity wins both ways. It wins because people are going to go buy negativity, and then the positive people don't line up. Like the negative people go out and get negative stuff, period. And sadly, some of the righteous, so-called righteous, go and get negative stuff too. But it's not equal when it comes to the righteous people. They say they're tired of it, but yet they don't go get or support you. So I applaud you for continue to do your thing, and we have to find just creative ways to keep spitting the truth, because you would think right now, with all the murders that you see, with police brutality, mass incarceration, that spirit of public enemy that you talked about, Rakim and KRS One, when everything was going on in New York, Bensonhurst and all the police brutality there, and they was fighting the power, you would think with Walter Scott, you know what I'm saying, Freddie Gray, Trayvon Martin, Sandra Bland, the Charleston Nine, that this music would be at the forefront, but to me, it's even worse. I'll let you have the last word.
Yeah, I totally agree. It's like it's something else happened with in the music forefront. It's like it's hard to kind of put it in words, but you know it when you see it. It's like the negativity kind of weaved its way in so deep that even when it's like you can look at an orange and you know that it's an orange, but somebody trained us to call it a watermelon. But you know it's an orange, but you're trained to call it a watermelon. It's like it's a deep psychosis that we suffer from, that we know it's not right, but we can't pull away from it. Unless something traumatic happens.
Exactly. When it hits your backyard, most people come conscious when it hit their backyard. But most of the time when it does that, it's already too late. Let people know where they can find you at and your music, man, because we're going to spotlight some of your songs on my radio show as well as on Your Black World and Reason for Rhyme. So let people know the name of your albums and your piece and where they can find it at.
Yes, sir. My album is called Platinum Shackles. You can find it right now on iTunes. It's on all the digital media outlets. So that would be Amazon.com, It's on Rhapsody. You can also go to my website, www.earthquake, one word, earthquake-ent.com. You can look at me up on Facebook, F the Elemental. You know, that's my Facebook handle. And all of, like I said, it's on all the digital media outlets. I have a Twitter handle, F the Elemental. It's at Twitter. And I'm always doing something in the community. So if people are doing like community rallies, you know, I'm an audio engineer, so I have a sound system. I rent sound systems out to people, everything. So if people are doing positive stuff, you know, they can always hit me up at, it's at Fahim, Faheem, at earthquake-ent.com. Let me know what you're doing. I'm always involved. I just did a fundraiser for breast cancer awareness in Albany this weekend. I donated sound for them. So it was nice. You know, if somebody's doing something that's worthwhile, that's positive, I'm down for that.
Man, that's what's up, man. That's I applaud you for that, man. I applaud you to keep pushing it, and sites like Your Black World and Tell It Like It Is. We're going to keep pushing your music, man. As a matter of fact, you know, when I get done with this interview, I need you to send me something so we can let the people see it when they hear this interview. They can also hear your music, man. That's how we're going to do it. That's how we lay it out like that, man. We want people to see what you're doing. We don't knock nobody else and what they're doing in music, but like I say, they got to be balanced. And right now, it's unbalanced, and it's artists like you that can bring balance back to the music industry. So we applaud you, man. And I thank you for coming on the show, bro.
Thank you, Vigilante Truth, y'all. I appreciate it when somebody give me an opportunity to say what I have to say, and this is definitely an opportunity that I very much appreciate.
And like I said, we're gonna get back. We're gonna get you back on the show too. I have a radio show. We're gonna get you back on to talk some things. We debate a lot of things about hip hop. You know, you know what we talked about before we got on the phone. So we definitely gonna do that right there, man. So I thank you for coming on the show, man. This has been Vigilante for ReasonForRhymes.com. That's reason with the number 4rhymes.com. Tell it like a T.I. is. Make sure you go check out F the Elemental. Check him out, y'all. And we are out.